The salty breeze blowing from the lagoon carried an air of mystery, infusing the atmosphere with something beyond salt and sea spray. Scooby and his gang had arrived at this remote island, hoping for peaceful days, immersed in the tranquility of the golden beach and the rhythmic sound of crystalline waves. However, their relaxation plans were interrupted when the thunderous sound of a cannon echoed through the air, followed by a streak of green light cutting through the night sky. It was as if fate had conspired to bring to light the tales of the legendary Lost Lagoon, long rumored to be inhabited by the ghosts of cursed pirates. The promise of adventure ignited the group's curiosity, and they could not resist the idea of uncovering the secrets hidden in this enigmatic place. Fred, always the fearless leader, quickly proposed exploring the lagoon at dawn. Daphne, with her keen eye, noticed deep wheel tracks in the sand, mysteriously heading toward the water and vanishing without a trace. Velma, her analytical mind already on high alert, adjusted her glasses and began pondering the significance of the tracks. Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy tried to focus on the promised seafood barbecue for the evening, but couldn't shake the chills the lagoon's tail was giving them. When the green light reappeared, shining brightly, a shiver ran through the entire group, reinforcing the sense that something supernatural was at play. At first light, the gang boarded a small boat and rowed toward the center of the lagoon. A dense fog enveloped the scene, giving the landscape an almost otherworldly feel. Fred kept the boat steady while Velma observed unusual wave patterns, as though something massive was moving beneath the surface. Suddenly, Shaggy shouted, pointing to what appeared to be a ghostly ship emerging from the mist. With tattered sails and an eerie glow emanating its weathered structure, the ship was a terrifying sight. Daphne captured everything with her camera, while Fred steered the boat closer, trying to remain calm. A sudden gust of wind shook the boat, forcing the gang to land on a small island in the middle of the lagoon. Scooby was the first to notice a trail of gold coins glinting in the sand, while Shaggy stumbled over an empty rum barrel, startling himself with his own reflection. Velma, ever observant, found a partially buried glass bottle containing an old map marking the location of a hidden cave. Fred studied the map and decided they should follow the trail, but not without first preparing the group for the unexpected. The cave's entrance was intimidating, flanked by pirate statues carved from stone, their sinister expressions and lifelike eyes appearing to follow every move. Daphne pointed out symbols etched into the walls, similar to those on the map, as Fred led the group into the cave. The sound of footsteps echoed in the distance, even though no one was in sight. Scooby and Shaggy, already on edge, clung to each other, while Velma analyzed the patterns of the carvings, searching for clues. After advancing through the main tunnel, the group reached a wide underground chamber illuminated by torches mounted on the walls. In the center of the chamber rested a massive locked chest, wrapped in rusted chains. Velma examined the inscriptions near the chest, realizing they formed a complex puzzle to unlock it. Scooby, exploring the surroundings curiously, tripped over a lever that revealed a hidden tunnel. Fred, without hesitation, decided to split the group to explore the location more thoroughly. Velma and Daphne followed the newly revealed tunnel, where they discovered murals on the walls depicting pirates performing strange rituals. The shadows cast by the flickering torchlight seemed to dance, heightening the mysterious atmosphere. Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy were sent to explore another section, but quickly returned, terrified, after finding skeletons armed with rusty swords. Fred remained in the main chamber, working to decipher the chest's puzzle as the growing whispers in the cave created an oppressive atmosphere. At the end of the tunnel, Velma and Daphne found a pedestal holding an ancient compass adorned with golden details. When Daphne touched the object, she activated a mechanism that caused the walls to tremble, revealing a secret passage. The new trail led to a partially submerged chamber where a pirate ship rested, bathed in an ethereal green glow. It was a surreal sight that confirmed the haunted stories of the lagoon. Fred, still in the main chamber, managed to open the chest, uncovering an ancient journal that told the story of a cursed pirate crew doomed to guard their treasure for eternity. While he read, Scooby and Shaggy, exploring nearby, found a gleaming silver sword among the skeletons. The moment they touched the sword, ghostly laughter echoed through the cave, startling everyone. Reunited in the submerged chamber, the group watched as the ship began to come alive. Ghostly pirate figures appeared on the deck as the green lights intensified. Fred, holding the journal, deciphered an important message. Those who face the past must return what they have taken. It was the missing clue to breaking the curse. Fred led the gang to the captain's cabin, where they found an altar decorated with gold coins and a small sealed chest. When they opened the chest, a powerful wind filled the chamber, and the ghosts began to advance. Scooby and Shaggy, terrified, distracted the spirits while Daphne used a compass to align symbols on the altar, and Velma read instructions from the journal. As soon as the sword was returned to the altar, an intense light filled the chamber, and the spirits began to vanish. The cave floor shook violently, forcing the group to run toward the exit. Explosions and ghostly whispers faded into the distance as the green glow slowly dimmed. Emerging from the cave, they realized the boat that had brought them to the lagoon was gone. Nevertheless, the lagoon's glow appeared calmer, as if the curse had been lifted. Fred studied the journal for more answers, while Velma theorized about the supernatural events. Scooby and Shaggy, as usual, were more concerned with finding their next meal. A new green light appeared on the horizon, accompanied by the sound of cannons. Daphne clutched the compass tightly while Fred analyzed a new clue from the journal. The mystery seemed far from over, and the feeling that something was watching them was almost palpable. Following a distant smoke signal, they found an apparently abandoned rowboat. Fred carefully inspected it before they boarded. As they rowed away, they felt the mysteries of the lost lagoon remained unresolved. On the shore, a shadowy figure watched silently as they disappeared into the mist, leaving the impression that the past still held secrets waiting to be uncovered. The Metro Line expansion works in Crystal Cove promised to modernize the city, but the project was abruptly halted. Workers reported thunderous noises and frightening roars emanating from the freshly excavated tunnels. Some swore they saw giant shadows moving swiftly along the dark walls. When the mayor announced the suspension of the works for safety reasons, rumors spread like wildfire, and Mystery Inc. couldn't resist the call. Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby embarked on the mission, convinced that something bigger was being covered up. The group began their investigation by speaking with the construction workers. Among reports of mysterious vibrations and strange symbols found on the walls, Velma noticed a recurring pattern. All sightings occurred near a specific tunnel that led directly to the heart of Main Street. Fred suggested they explore the tunnel, while Shaggy and Scooby hesitated as usual, more concerned about the sandwiches they had brought along. Daphne, camera in hand, documented everything to ensure no detail was forgotten. Entering the tunnels was a grim and claustrophobic task. Fred led the group with a flashlight, while the narrow walls revealed deep scratches resembling giant claws. Velma paused to examine the symbols carved into the stone, pointing out that they appeared ancient, possibly predating the founding of Crystal Cove. Suddenly, a deafening roar echoed, prompting Scooby to leap into Shaggy's arms. Fred tried to calm the group, but it was clear to everyone they were not alone. The tunnel opened into a larger chamber where a series of abandoned tools suggested the workers had fled in a hurry. At the chamber's center stood a pedestal engraved with a large symbol glowing faintly green. Daphne captured the scene with her camera, while Velma moved closer to inspect it. Before she could touch the pedestal, a giant shadow darted across the space, and the roar they had heard earlier now seemed much closer. Adrenaline surged through the group. Determined to uncover the truth, Fred found an old map on one of the abandoned tables. Velma studied the document and discovered that the tunnel led to a network of underground passages connected to ancient structures beneath Main Street. Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy stumbled upon an open vault filled with old gold coins. The sound of heavy footsteps coming from the tunnel interrupted their excitement, forcing everyone to hide in anticipation of an inevitable confrontation. From their hiding spot, the group watched as a massive creature emerged from the tunnel. It was reptilian in form, with glowing eyes and thick, mud-covered skin embedded with rocks. Daphne managed to capture a few images before the creature disappeared into a hole in the ground. Velma theorized that the creature was guarding something important, likely tied to the symbols. Fred proposed following its trail, while Scooby and Shaggy protested, preferring to return to the surface. The trail led the group to a corridor lined with ancient iron doors, each marked with the same symbols found in the tunnel. Velma opened one of the doors, revealing a room filled with historical artifacts, including journals detailing the founding of Crystal Cove. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby, exploring another door, discovered a space littered with bones. The sound of falling rocks in the distance signaled the monster's return, and the group quickly regrouped. The group ran into another tunnel, leading to a larger room where more inscriptions adorned the walls. Velma concluded that the creature was some sort of guardian, protecting the city's secrets. Daphne speculated that these secrets might involve an ancient treasure, while Fred focused on figuring out how to stop the creature before it caused more harm. Scooby found a glowing amulet on the ground, which seemed to react to the group's presence. With the amulet in hand, the group realized it was the key to activating the pedestal they had found earlier. Velma deciphered the inscriptions, which indicated that the amulet needed to be placed at the pedestal's center to calm the creature. As the group made their way back to the main chamber, the sound of the monster approaching grew louder, and they prepared for a direct confrontation. Fred took the lead, while Daphne ensured every detail was documented. When they reached the chamber, the monster appeared, blocking the entrance. Fred distracted the creature, while Velma and Daphne worked together to activate the pedestal. Despite their fear, Scooby and Shaggy managed to divert the monster's attention with an improvised light show using flashlights they found on site. Finally, Velma placed the amulet on the pedestal, and a bright light filled the room, forcing the monster to retreat. The creature, now seemingly calmer, slowly moved toward the pedestal and disappeared into an opening in the ground. The chamber began to tremble, and the group rushed to escape before everything collapsed. Back on the surface, Velma explained that the creature was not a threat but a protector, while Fred vowed to inform local authorities about the dangers underground. Daphne reviewed her footage, intrigued by the secrets that might still be buried. The next day, the mayor attempted to cover up the incident, claiming that the workers' reports were merely exaggerated rumors. Mystery Inc. knew the truth and decided to keep the monster's secrets safe. Scooby and Shaggy, happy to be back outdoors, celebrated with giant burgers, while Velma continued analyzing Daphne's recordings for more clues. Fred, on the other hand, began planning to explore other underground areas. Daphne's recordings revealed something unexpected. On one of the tunnel walls, there was an inscription mentioning one of Crystal Cove's founders, directly linking them to the underground secrets. Velma suggested this could signify a larger conspiracy involving the city. Fred decided they needed to dig deeper, while Daphne, always ready for adventure, prepared her camera for another mission. As the group discussed their next steps, a distant rumbling sound was heard again. Scooby's ears perked up in alarm, while Shaggy nervously insisted he didn't want to know what was causing it. Velma glanced at the amulet, which glowed faintly, indicating that the monster was still active. Fred concluded that their mission was far from over, and the group agreed to prepare for what lay ahead. By nightfall, Mystery Inc. gathered by the mystery machine van, reflecting on what they had discovered. Fred, holding the ancient map, looked toward the tunnels and vowed to return to finish what they had started. Daphne documented the moment, while Velma studied the amulet's faint glow. Scooby and Shaggy, though reluctant, knew they couldn't abandon their friends. Daphne's camera clicked off, capturing the instant a distant roar echoed once more, signaling that the mystery was far from solved.